I first played Chrono Trigger when it re-released on the DS in 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere along that period. That was the first time I had experienced this Super Nintendo classic, and when I first played it, I was a little bit disappointed. This had been hyped to me as being one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, one of the best games ever made, one of Squaresoft's best games ever, and I felt a little bit let down by it. I thought it was a little bit too simplistic. I thought it was a little bit too short. I didn't find myself like super intrigued by the plot or the characters or anything along those lines. I thought I had played better RPGs already on other consoles, and I that feeling is never really going to go away. Like, I still do feel kind of let down by the game in a lot of respects, but upon returning to it, like on the 20th anniversary, and now I think the 25th anniversary, playing the Super Nintendo version for the first time, like, I think that when all is said and done, I still absolutely like this game a lot. Like, I just don't think it's my favorite RPG ever. I don't think it's my favorite game of all time, and I can't take that opinion away from other people. But like, for me personally, I think there are better RPGs out there, like Dragon Quest, to name one, but Dragon Quest VII to name just one. But Chrono Trigger is still a positively really fun, engaging, creative RPG about a boy named Chrono and his adventures through time. This is a fantasy game in which you, the protagonist, and your friends end up traveling through time in your quest to save the world. You end up going to the distant past, fighting around knights and dinosaurs, and the future, which has become post-apocalyptic due to a creature that's been lurking under the surface of the planet for 65 million years and caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. It is a very, very, very compelling creative narrative that incorporates all these time periods in really interesting, unique ways. Ones that I don't think have really been utilized all that often in other JRPGs. The game doesn't feel all that cliche. The art style does resemble that of Dragon Quest, as it has the character designer Akira Toriyama working on the game. It has It features a combat system that takes place on the overworld, so you interact with like an enemy and immediately like draw your weapon and like enter a turn-based combat phase, which is kind of different. Like, the game does a lot to make it stand out, but for me personally, I just wasn't like super blown away by it when I first played it. But you have to keep in mind, like, I first played this like over a decade after it first came out. When this thing came out in 95, like, it must have blown minds, because like, looking back on it, like, compared to other games that came out around that same time period, that this game is like really, really fleshed out. It has really, really interesting quest lines and plot lines and plot aspects that like tie and intertwine each other in interesting ways. Like, when you do something in the past, like, occasionally it'll affect the future in like minor noticeable ways, which is very, very interesting to see, especially like considering how subtle it is. It is very, very interesting. And playing the game again, you know, I think this is I don't want to say it's my third playthrough. Playing it again in my most recent playthrough, I do think this is a game that has grown on me. Like, as I've gotten older and I've played it more and more, like, and playing it on stream, discussing it with other fans, yeah, I do like the game. I do like the characters. I do like the world. I do like the setting. I do like the combat. I do like the story. Like, I like this game a lot. And to say this game isn't great would be doing it a disservice. I love Chrono Trigger, and I would recommend it to any hardcore fan of JRPGs.